Well, that was incredibly fast. 3 days into 2019, and believe it or not, something interesting actually has happened. And by interesting, I mean totally a lot of fun. And I can't wait till next week to see it, but I'll get into that momentarily. But first things first, it is Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. The weekend is almost here. I am super duper excited. And yeah. Um, so last night I stayed up a little later than usual. I know, scandalous, right? And I actually saw this new show on Fox called The Masked Singer. Now, for those of you who don't know, The Masked Singer is a new reality game show where it features celebrities that are wearing very bright and colorful costumes, and they sing in front of a large crowd. And basically, we all have to try and guess, who's underneath the mask, who's wearing the costume. Now, the interesting thing about this show is, well, for one thing, Nick Cannon hosts it, which I love Nick Cannon. I remember Nick Cannon back when he was on All That. That was a great show. So it's good to see, Nick Cannon on TV again. I mean, he's been on TV a lot. I mean, I know he also was the host of America's Got Talent for a little while. And he hosted other shows. But yeah, Nick Cannon, you did a great job I doubt you'll ever see this, but you did a great job last night. And always nice to see a fellow person with my same first name doing things that are awesome. Actually, now that I think about it, we have the same initials too. So, that's even cooler. So, that's awesome. But one interesting fact about the show is, they really go the extra mile to make sure that absolutely no one knows who's underneath that mask. On their way to the studio where they shoot the show, they have to wear masks, heavy sort of face covers, everything. And if you have an entourage, they have to wear masks too. They really want to make sure that you have absolutely no idea who's underneath the mask, which, makes sense. I mean, you really want to do a good job of making us guess who it is, then that's one way to do it. And don't get me wrong, and they do provide clues as to who they are before they sing. But when they speak, they do that whole disguising the voice so it sounds like the whole chipmunk sort of voice that disguises who you are. So when they do talk, they say some clues that you have to excuse me, that sort of give you an idea as to who is, again, underneath the mask. But the thing is, because they really do a good job disguising their voices, you have no idea who it is until you hear them sing. Because obviously when they sing, they use their real voice. And when, the judges, they actually got really good judges. They got Robin Thicke, Ken Jeong, one of the Goo Goo Dolls, and that one lady who's married to a Wahlberg. I'm sorry, I can't remember everyone's name on that show. I'm terribly sorry. But yeah, good collection of judges. I like them. And, yeah, it's weird. Post-nasal drip. Anyway. So, when they sing, you get to hear, their voice. It'd basically be if I was singing, you'd hear my natural voice, but when I talk, my voice would be disguised in a way that you couldn't necessarily tell it was me. The only thing you would know for sure right off the bat when you see the celebrity in costume is, seriously, they do such a good job of, disguising who's underneath the costume that sometimes you can barely tell if it's a man or a woman in the costume. Really, it's that good. You have to really watch how they walk and how they move in order to tell that. And, some of the clues are pretty vague. They're vague enough where you can understand, who they are. You can get an idea as to who they are, but well, they're clear enough you can have an idea as to who they are, but vague enough where you're still guessing a lot. Like a lot. And the way the show works is you have two celebrities. Well, it shows 6 celebrities a night as of right now. And 2 of them go at it, and obviously the audience gets to decide who moves on. Until they do it 2 more times, and then you get to the bottom 3. And then it's decided who is out, who has to go home. But before they go home, they obviously have to, take off their mask, at least to see who it was. Which, again, and that's actually one really interesting thing about how this show works is, like, they do such a good job of, like, getting you entertained, getting you, like, interested in what they're doing, that when you see the next person, you actually tend to forget, like, what clues, like, the other person had before. Like, unless you're writing down absolutely every clue and everything that you see when you watch the previous person, you're going to forget something. That's just how entertaining of a show it is. Like, it kept me invested from start to finish. And I dig that. I really can't wait until, next week to see to see who goes home and who, again, is underneath the mask. Now, at this point, we get into I'm going to be getting into some spoiler territory. So if you don't want to hear this part, I'll let you know when you can stop watching right now, or if you do want to see to the very end, because obviously I'm not going to talk about spoilers at the rest of the video. Then I'll let you know when you can start watching in. Okay, I am going to start giving spoilers now. There's a timer on there. So now 7:20. That's when I'm going to be giving spoilers. Anyway, so from what I gathered, of the 6 contestants, 4 of them were guys and 2 of them were girls. And there was a peacock costume, a hippo costume. Those 2 went at each other. A monster costume and a unicorn costume, and they went up against each other. And finally, a deer costume and a lion costume. And you can tell sort of right away, again, based on how they walked, that the unicorn and the lion were both women. Not that I swear I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything. You could even tell, like, when they disguised their voice, like, okay, your voice is clearly disguised, but it's pretty obvious that what your gender is based on, how you're talking, how you're saying. So, at the end of each round, after the first round, it was the peacock who beat the hippo. After the second round, it was the unicorn that beat the monster. And in the third round, it was the lion who beat the deer. So, the top 3 were obviously the 2 girls and 1 guy. Now, of the bottom 3, obviously all guys, somebody had to go home, and it ended up being the hippo from the first round. Now, the clues that the hippo gave were actually, again, they were clear enough where you could kind of get an understanding of who it was, but vague enough where, you were still guessing. With that said, your clues were in the video that showed off some of the clues. They showed off paying a tab in a restaurant of $10,000. The guy in the hippo costume was eating a big breakfast, and he's known, and his favorite pastime is bowling. Now, bowling can mean one of 2 things. It could mean you actually do go bowling, which is fun to do. I like bowling sometimes. Or going to the Super Bowl. That's right. It actually ended up being a football player. Not just any football player. The man who got number 2 in the NFL's top 100 last year. From the Pittsburgh Steelers, wide receiver Antonio Brown. And the interesting thing is, when you finally see like what the clues meant, you're like, oh, okay, I never thought that. Like the $10,000 check you paid at the restaurant, that's a symbol of the fact that, for dancing in the end zone, you gotta pay like a $10,000 fine. And then there's big breakfast he was eating. Antonio Brown is known for eating big breakfast. And again, his favorite pastime is bowling. Antonio Brown's been to a couple Super Bowls. I think he has at least one ring. I think. Somebody in the comment section is gonna let me know. And I gotta say, Antonio Brown, he's a pretty decent singer. I am thoroughly impressed with it's Antonio Brown. The guy has talent out the wazoo. He's gonna find some way to make you entertained, and boy was I entertained by what he was doing. He's showing off some of his touchdown dance moves. He was doing all that, and it was great. So I have to say, Antonio Brown did an awesome job. I hope I hear you sing again one day. That would actually be quite fun. I mean, it's a shame that you got to go home, because I would have liked to have kept guessing a little more about you. But yeah. So okay, now the spoilers stop at 11:45. Okay, so yeah. All in all, The Masked Singer is a great show, and I can't wait until next Wednesday. For the record, Fox is not paying me at all. I saw this show on my own, and I was entertained from start to finish, so thank you. And as per who the other 11 contestants are, it could be anyone underneath there. It could be me. Ooh. Don't worry, guys, it's not going to be me. It'd be awesome if it was. I mean, I would do such a good job of, making sure none of you guys knew and being like, who is that masked stranger? Yet why does he look so devilishly handsome? So, yeah, that's, I was very entertained. I went to bed later than normal, but, it was worth it, because I can't wait until next Wednesday. It's going to be, fun, gonna be fun. And you know what? That's actually another thing. If you guys pay attention, Wednesday is kind of like the slow part of the week in terms of, what shows are on primetime. I now have a show worth watching on Wednesdays, no less. It's awesome. So, yeah, I really can't wait until next Wednesday now. I'm going to tell all my friends about it. Well, technically I already am, because, you guys are watching. So, man, I talked about this show a lot more than I thought I would. Yeah, it's a good show to check out, and even though I kind of gave away who the person who went home last night was, if you have an opportunity to see it again, maybe you can try and guess who the other contestants are. It's 1 down, 11 to go. And you never know who it's going to be underneath that mask. Again, it could be me. Don't worry, it's not going to be me. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather be one of the judges trying to guess who it is rather than being, on stage. I mean, don't get me wrong. People who know me know I can sing pretty well. And, of course, I'd love to be able to perform. But, honestly, I want to test my brain. I would like to see if I could figure out who it was. Maybe someday. But until then, all we can do now is move on and get ready for the weekend. And get ready to watch... Ooh, I think there's going to be a hot one, State of the Union, in terms of what the Season 8 sauces are. I'm so excited. Okay, that's enough. Okay. So, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button. I can really use support on YouTube. Follow me in the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. As always, I am very humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I am hopeful that we all have a wonderful Thursday, and remember, if you guys don't want to talk or chat... I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I will always have your back. Take care, and go watch The Masked Singer. It's a lot of fun. I honestly can't wait until next Wednesday. Take care.